Welcome back. This is part 2 of the NBA playoff prediction series, and this one holds a special place in my heart because it features your defending NBA champions, the Toronto Raptors!
Canada, the NBA title is yours!
And that was the Toronto Raptors making history.
I'm hyped. I'm a little hyped. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, we're moving on to the right side of the bracket. If you missed the first part of the video, we did the left side in which the Clippers ended up coming out and making it to the finals. Now, if you want to see how we arrived at that, go watch the video. It's on my page. If not, that's all you need to know. We're on part 2. We're going to do the right side of the bracket, and we're not going to waste any time about it. Let's hop right into it. So we're going to kick things off here with the Lakers hosting the underdog Nets. And I think with KD and Kyrie coming back, thanks to the break, they're going to have a great chance to upset the Lakers here.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm sorry. I really couldn't help myself. They're not coming back. The Nets are super underdogged, undermanned against the Lakers team, which is not, which has LeBron and Anthony Davis. Like I said in the first video, there's going to be a few series where there's not much to talk about. This is one of them. It's the Lakers. It's going to be a clean sweep. It's going to be over quick. So the Rockets and the Jazz are meeting in the playoffs, again, for the 3rd year in a row. But this time, something's different. This time, the Utah Jazz actually have the home court. Do you think it'll matter?
Yes, but actually no.
The playoffs in the NBA are a star-driven environment. And the Utah Jazz, I hate to say it, but they don't have it. Mitchell has yet to really take that next step. Hell, you could argue that he's regressed during his time in the NBA. Mike Conley was supposed to be the addition that they were looking for in that regard, but he really has yet to find his footing in that offense and with that team. And Rudy Gobert is not the offensive-minded center and the monster down low that can give the Rockets, trouble with their small ball. Listen, I like the Jazz. They're a good team. They're fun to watch. But against a team like the Rockets that has 2 major stars in Russell Westbrook and James Harden, I think this will be over pretty quickly. Not to mention that they also have a bunch of role players on the Houston Rockets that are dedicated to seeing the system work, and I think it will here. I think it's going to be 5 games at the most. And now, for your defender. I'm not going to do that again. It really hurt my voice the first time. But the Toronto Raptors are going to start their title defense against the Memphis Grizzlies here. They're actually going to see an old friend as Jonas Valanciunas comes to town. But I do have some bad news for him. This series is going to be over pretty quick. Listen, the Raptors have really shown championship pedigree this season. I know, stereotypical, but look at what's happened to them this season. Look at the amount of guys that popped in and out of the lineup with injuries, and they barely missed a beat. Nick Nurse is surely going to capture the Coach of the Year. And I think the Raptors are just going to make quick work of the Grizzlies here. Toronto, 4-0, clean sweep. So, we got the last series here of the first round. It's going to be the Indiana Pacers versus the Denver Nuggets. And both these teams really capture what it means to be a team, I would say. But especially the Indiana Pacers. They have a bunch of really good players that know what their role is, and they kind of play to the best of their abilities, and it just coincides together so smoothly and so nicely. It's fun to watch. It really is. But they're going to go up against pretty stiff competition, the Nuggets, who are coming off a pretty good playoff run last year where they ended up just missing out on potential Western Conference Finals in the Game 7 loss to Portland. And they'll be looking for a little bit of retribution here. Now, the reason why I think Denver has the clear advantage here is I don't think Indiana has a true star that can take over a playoff series, much like, the Utah Jazz. Yes, Domantas Sabonis was an all-star, but I really don't see him as that true star, like I said. And Victor Oladipo, who came back, they really had trouble integrating him back into the offense, which they might get the chance to reprimand, with the extra time to get chemistry together before the season starts. But when you're going up against a true star like Nikola Jokic, who's probably the best center in the NBA on top of it, I think he has the potential to be the game changer in this series. I think you got some really great support pieces with guys like Jamal Murray in Denver. I think this will be a relatively quick series. I want to say Denver in 5. I see the Pacers putting it together for one game to maybe potentially spoil, a sweep. But other than that, it'll be done quick. So we'll be moving on to the second round, and kicking things off, the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be going up against the Houston Rockets. Now, as I mentioned, the Rockets look like they're invested in showing that their system works. And their system actually did work against the Lakers in the early stages of this experiment, where they got the victory against LA. However, there's going to be a bit of a difference here. And you know what the major difference going into this is? You're getting playoff LeBron.
Open sesame.
And for those of you, once again, that have been living under a rock, playoff LeBron is a whole different animal. This guy is going to be aggressive. He's going to take advantage of everything that the Rockets are going to give to him. And I think he's really going to be looking to make quick work of this Houston Rockets team. On top of which, you have a premier interior player like Anthony Davis that is going to take advantage of the lack of size down low from the Houston Rockets. And that really shouldn't be a knock on PJ Tucker. He's a fantastic defender. He can defend almost anybody. But I just feel like in a 7-game series, AD is going to wear you down. And the thing is, though, I don't think it will be a 7-game series. I think it'll be a 5-game series. I think the Lakers are going to be taking this. I'll give credit to the Rockets and taking a game off the Lakers, because I think there'll be at least one game where the Houston shooters just get ridiculously hot and that manages to carry them to a victory. So there's no clean sweep here, but it is going to be a Lakers victory. They're going to be moving on to this, I guess, the semifinals. Since we can't technically call them conference finals, they'll move on to the semifinals. So for the next part of the Raptors' title defense, they're going to end up going up against the Denver Nuggets. And I do see this as a pretty good matchup for Toronto for a few reasons. I think Toronto is well equipped to throw a lot of really good defenders at the driving force of the Nuggets, which obviously is Nikola Jokic. Between Marc Gasol, between Serge Ibaka, and Pascal Siakam, those are all guys that can challenge Nikola Jokic and kind of slow him down throughout this series. On top of which, I think the Raptors are in a good position to really attack Jamal Murray on the other end. I think a guy like Kyle Lowry is in an excellent position to really, make his presence known in this series and be the difference maker for Toronto. Ultimately, though, I think the Raptors are better equipped to compete on both sides of the ball here. And while I do think it'll be a series, I think Toronto does ultimately take it. Let's say the 6 in 6.
I want my chips with the dip, that's all I know.
Sorry, not sorry. So, we've made it to the semifinals here, and we have Lakers and Raptors, which I feel like was a little bit predictable, at least compared to the other side of the bracket. Here, I feel like the Raptors and the Lakers are really just so much better than every other team on the side of the bracket. With all due respect to teams like the Nuggets and the Rockets, I just didn't see a reasonable scenario where the Raptors and the Lakers didn't meet in the semifinal here. And now that they have, you have a few old friends coming to town to face the Raptors. You have Danny Green, love him, helped Toronto win a championship. And you have LeBron James.
It's under 3 seconds to go. Throws up the floater. Good night, Cleveland.
That LeBron James. Obviously, so many flashbacks of LeBronto come in. Now, this isn't the same team, and Toronto is now an NBA champion, and they have that confidence instilled in them. So this isn't going to be a quick series by any means. But there are still concerns for the Raptors here. Obviously, the two biggest concerns for the Raptors are going to be the same concerns for any team going up against the Lakers. It's going to be Anthony Davis, and it's going to be LeBron James. Who are you throwing at Anthony Davis? Is it going to be Serge Ibaka? Is it going to be Marc Gasol? I'm sure both of them are going to get looks against him. How effectively they can slow him down throughout an entire series is another question. But obviously, the main concern here is the Raptors. And most likely it's going to be either OG or it's going to be Pascal Siakam going up against LeBron. And you still do have to question whether or not I'm fully motivated. Playoff LeBron is going to be too much for the Raptors to handle here. Obviously, the Raptors have the second best defense in the NBA this season, but it's still really hard picturing them, fully being able to contain and slow down LeBron James. But the biggest concern on the other side here for the Lakers is finding a good third option. Obviously, if your two stars aren't going, Kyle Kuzma, he just hasn't been it for the Lakers this season. And either him or hell, KCP, somebody else for the Lakers has to step up if their stars aren't playing well. Because if you do manage to slow down LeBron and AD and those role players aren't playing to their maximum effectiveness, the Raptors actually have a pretty good chance of taking this series. I want to say upsetting. I don't know if it'd be a full upset, but I guess it would be an upset in a way. Here's the thing though. I don't think we're getting the upset. I don't think the Raptors will win this series. I do struggle to see the Raptors truly holding down LeBron for 7 games, and even Anthony Davis in that same extent. I think this series goes 6. I think the Raptors get a couple of games off and they put up a good fight, but ultimately I think LeBron is far too motivated, and I think the Lakers punch themselves a ticket to the NBA Finals. So there you have it. It's going to be an all-LA NBA Final, and Adam Silver must be sitting somewhere absolutely ecstatic.
Hello, I like money.
Now, for those of you that pay attention to Easter eggs and stuff like that, I actually did wear a Hollywood shirt in the first video of this series that kind of, in my mind, gave away that that's what I was leading towards in these predictions. So if you noticed that and if you caught it, congratulations. You're eagle-eyed and you're a genius. Anyways, part 3 of this series will be up soon. It's going to break down the NBA Finals, the potential NBA Finals. Hopefully you'll be back for that, and I will see you then.